The Stoic Art of Letting Go, Finding Freedom in Epictetus. Wisdom. The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus once observed that people are weighed down and broken not by the world itself, but by their attachment to too many things. His solution was not to cease caring altogether, but to care about the right things, those within our control, and to release our grip on what does not truly matter. This profound insight, rooted in Stoic philosophy, offers a timeless guide to living a life of clarity, resilience, and inner peace. But what are these things we cling to? Why is it better to let them go? And how can we apply Epictetus' teachings to navigate the complexities of modern life? This exploration delves into these questions, weaving together Stoic principles, practical applications, and vivid scenarios from everyday life, to illuminate a path toward freedom and fulfillment. Stay with us. Perhaps the facts in this video may change your life forever. The burden of attachment. Epictetus taught that our suffering often stems from clinging to things beyond our control, external circumstances, possessions, reputations, or even the actions of others. When we invest our happiness in these externals, we set ourselves up for disappointment, as they are inherently unpredictable and impermanent. Imagine a young professional who pours their identity into their career. They work tirelessly, tying their self-worth to promotions and accolades. When a sudden layoff occurs due to a company merger, they are devastated, not just by the loss of the job, but by the collapse of their sense of self. This is the trap Epictetus warns against: attaching our well-being to what can be taken away. The Stoics argue that external events cannot harm us unless we allow them to. A storm may destroy a farmer's crops, but it is the farmer's despairing reaction, his belief that his life is ruined, that causes the true suffering. Epictetus' philosophy invites us to shift our focus inward to what lies within our power, our thoughts, choices, and attitudes. By doing so, we reclaim agency over our emotional lives, no matter the circumstances. The dichotomy of control. At the heart of Epictetus' teachings lies the dichotomy of control, a principle that distinguishes between what we can and cannot influence. He writes, "The things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever are our own actions. The things not in our control are body, property, reputation, command, and, in one word, whatever are not our own actions." This distinction is deceptively simple, yet transformative when applied. Consider a student preparing for a crucial exam. They can control their study habits, their focus, and their effort. They cannot control the exam questions, the grader's mood, or whether they ultimately pass. By focusing on their preparation rather than obsessing over the outcome, they align their energy with what is within their power, reducing anxiety and fostering resilience. This mindset shift is liberating. It frees us from the futility of trying to control the uncontrollable. In daily life, we often blur this line. A parent might feel crushed when their child disobeys, believing it reflects poorly on their parenting. But Epictetus reminds us that while we can guide and teach, we cannot control another person's choices. The child's actions are their own, just as our response is ours. By releasing the need to control others, we find peace in accepting reality as it is. The insatiable hunger for power. Epictetus' contemporary, the philosopher Epicurus, noted that power is insatiable, a hunger that grows with every acquisition. The pursuit of power, whether in the form of wealth, status, or influence, often leads to a cycle of dissatisfaction. A corporate executive climbs the ladder, only to find that each promotion fuels a desire for more. The corner office, once a dream, becomes a stepping stone to the next goal, leaving them perpetually unfulfilled. This insight resonates in today's world, where social media amplifies the allure of power and recognition. A content creator might chase likes and followers, believing that a certain number will bring happiness. Yet, as their audience grows, so does their need for validation, trapping them in a cycle of comparison and craving. Epictetus would argue that true contentment lies not in external markers of success, but in cultivating a mind that is satisfied with what it can control. The dinner party of life. Epictetus offers a striking metaphor for navigating life's impermanence. Treat it like a dinner party. At a dinner party, we enjoy the food, the company, and the ambience, but we do not cling to them when the evening ends. If a glass breaks, we do not lament its loss. If a guest leaves early, we do not take it personally. Instead, we say, "I have returned it," acknowledging that these things were never truly ours to keep. This perspective transforms how we relate to possessions, relationships, and even our own bodies. A woman cherishes her grandmother's heirloom necklace, wearing it with pride. When it is lost during a move, she feels a pang of sadness but reminds herself that it was a gift to enjoy, not a permanent possession. By reframing loss as a return, she avoids being consumed by grief and finds gratitude for the time she had with it. Similarly, relationships flourish when we release our grip. A man loves his partner deeply, but recognizes that he cannot control their feelings or actions. When they drift apart, he does not cling to resentment or despair. Instead, he accepts that the relationship, like all things, has its season. This acceptance allows him to move forward with grace, open to new connections. The freedom of letting go. Epictetus emphasizes that there is no harm in enjoying life's pleasures, wealth, relationships, or achievements as long as we are prepared to let them go. The problem arises when we treat these things as essential to our happiness. A family might treasure their annual beach vacation, but if a financial setback forces them to cancel, they can still find joy in simpler moments, a picnic in the park, or a movie night at home. By holding lightly to external pleasures, they preserve their inner peace. This principle applies even to our bodies, which Epictetus lists among the things outside our control. A woman diagnosed with a chronic illness might initially feel betrayed by her body. Yet, by focusing on what she can control, her attitude, her daily choices, her kindness, she finds a sense of agency amidst uncertainty. She cannot dictate her health, but she can shape her response to it. The human nature of others. Epictetus extends his philosophy to how we interact with others, noting that people, like ourselves, are fallible. He advises against expecting others to behave exactly as we wish. A manager might grow frustrated when an employee misses a deadline, assuming it reflects disobedience or incompetence. But Epictetus would urge the manager to see the employee as human, with their own struggles and priorities. By letting go of rigid expectations, the manager fosters a more compassionate workplace and avoids unnecessary conflict. This perspective is particularly relevant in personal relationships. A woman might wish her friend would call more often. Feeling hurt by their distance, instead of demanding change, she can choose to appreciate the friendship for what it is. Reaching out when she feels inclined, but not tying her happiness to the friend's actions. This shift empowers her to maintain connection without resentment. Accepting reality as it is. One of Epictetus' most famous teachings is this: do not demand that things happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and you will be well. This radical acceptance of reality is not passivity but a deliberate choice to align our desires with the world as it is. A commuter stuck in traffic might fume at the delay, but by accepting it as beyond their control, they can use the time to listen to a podcast or reflect on their day. This small act of surrender transforms a frustrating moment into an opportunity. This principle applies to larger life events as well. A man loses his savings to a stock market crash. While he cannot undo the loss, he can choose whether to dwell in regret or to focus on rebuilding. By accepting the reality of the situation, he frees himself to take constructive steps forward. whether that means seeking new opportunities or finding contentment in a simpler lifestyle. The power of perspective. Epictetus teaches that while we cannot control the world, we can control our perspective. No one can force us to feel despair, anger, or defeat. Those are choices we make. A teacher facing a disruptive classroom might feel overwhelmed. But by reframing the situation as a chance to practice patience and creativity, they regain control over their emotional state. This shift in perspective is the cornerstone of Stoic resilience. In a world that often feels chaotic, this idea is profoundly empowering. A single mother juggling work and childcare might feel crushed by the weight of her responsibilities. Yet, by focusing on her ability to love, plan, and persevere, she finds strength. She cannot control the demands of her job or the unpredictability of her children's needs. But she can choose to meet each challenge with courage and clarity. Applying Epictetus' wisdom today. Epictetus' teachings are not abstract theories, but practical tools for modern life. In a society driven by consumerism, comparison, and instant gratification, his philosophy offers a countercultural antidote. Social media, for instance, often fuels attachment to external validation. A teenager might feel inadequate if their posts don't garner enough likes. But by applying Epictetus' dichotomy of control, they can focus on creating content in joy rather than chasing approval. Workplace stress is another arena where Stoicism shines. An employee might dread a critical boss, fearing their judgment. But Epictetus would remind them that the boss's opinion is beyond their control, while their effort and integrity are not. By focusing on doing their best, they detach themselves from external feedback, finding confidence in their own actions. Even in moments of loss, Stoic principles offer solace. A widower, grieving his spouse, might feel that life has lost its meaning. Yet, by reflecting on the love they shared and choosing to honor it through acts of kindness or creativity, he finds a way to move forward. Epictetus' dinner party metaphor reminds him that the relationship was a gift to cherish, not a possession to cling to. The path to inner freedom. Epictetus' philosophy is not about detachment in the sense of apathy, but about cultivating a healthy relationship with the world. It's about enjoying life's gifts without being enslaved by them. Loving others without demanding they conform to our expectations. And pursuing goals without tying our happiness to their outcome. This approach does not make us immune to pain. Grief, disappointment, and frustration are part of the human experience, but it equips us to face them with resilience and grace. Imagine a community volunteer organizing a charity event. When rain forces the event indoors, they don't despair over the change in plans. Instead, they adapt, focusing on the joy of bringing people together. By letting go of the need for a perfect outcome, they find fulfillment in the process, embodying Epictetus' wisdom. Conclusion. A life of clarity and courage. Epictetus' teachings invite us to redefine what matters. By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, we free ourselves from the burdens of attachment, expectation, and fear. We learn to see life's challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to practice virtue. Whether it's navigating a career setback, a strained relationship, or an unexpected loss, Stoicism offers a roadmap to inner peace. In a world that constantly pulls us toward external measures of success, Epictetus reminds us that true freedom lies within. A student, a parent, a professional, or a retiree each can find liberation by letting go of what they cannot control and embracing what they can. As we sit at the dinner party of life, we savor the moment, knowing that when the plates are cleared, we can say with calm confidence, "I have returned it." Did this video add anything new to your knowledge? Click the like button and tell us in the comments which part of the video and which piece of information you liked and were curious about. If you aren't subscribed to Edulosophy channel, subscribe now, as we delve deeper than others dare.